Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Matthew Sims. Sims was shot and killed on Wednesday, April 9, 2014, in the 500 block of West 76th Street in the Vermont Knolls neighborhood of South LA, according to LA County coroner records. Anthony Michael Grant was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Matthew Sims, the murder victim, and defendant Anthony Grant were both members of the sevenfold Hoover criminal gang. On April 9, 2014, at sometime around 3:45 or 4:45 in the afternoon, Sims went to Eric Washington's house to talk about an incident between Sims and Grant. At the time, Washington was also a member of the sevenfold Hoovers. The victim seemed antsy, and he said he and Grant got into it in the backyard of Grant's house, and they had squared off to fight. Sims said that as he and Grant did so, several little homies surrounded Sims. Sims put his hand on the screwdriver in his pocket and told Grant to meet him at the Donut, an area on 80th Street between Hoover Street and Figueroa known for fighting. Sims said that he had walked to the Donut, but Grant didn't show up. Sims had then walked directly to Washington's house on 81st Street. After describing the incident with Grant, Sims asked Washington if he could talk to Grant. Washington said that he would, but he had a prior family obligation first. After talking to Washington, Sims left. By the time of trial, Eric Washington was trying to distance himself from the gang culture and was cooperating with police in connection with gang criminal activity. On that same day, at approximately 7:50 p.m., LAPD officer Craig Stogel and his partner received a radio call about a report of a man down on the sidewalk. In response to the call, the officers drove to the area of 76th Street in Figueroa. When the officers arrived at the scene, Officer Stogel saw Sims lying on the ground. He was bleeding and appeared to have been shot multiple times, including a gunshot wound to his head. Officer Stogel and his partner searched the area for evidence and found several expended .45 caliber bullets and bullet shell casings in a nearby alley. Subsequent ballistic examination established that the casings and the bullets were all fired from the same gun, and that they were most likely fired from a rifle. LAPD Detective Michael Levant and his partner also responded to the area of the shooting on August 9, 2014. Detective Levant and his partner recovered date and timestamp surveillance videos from two cameras located at the rear of a residence on 76th Street, facing an alley. One of the cameras looked west toward Hoover Street, and the other camera looked east toward Figueroa Street. One video showed three individuals walking east toward Figueroa Street. In a jail telephone call after his arrest, defendant admitted he was depicted in the video. At trial, Eric Washington identified Grant as the man on the video who was wearing orange shorts. A second video showed Grant going back down the alley, heading in the direction of his home. A third video showed Grant riding a bicycle, heading eastbound. It appeared that Grant had a rifle wrapped in clothing on the handlebars of the bicycle. The video showed Grant riding his bicycle back through the alley a few minutes later. A later video showed a male walking down the alley. The male threw an unknown object onto the roof of a residence. Detective Levant went on the roof where the unknown object had been thrown and recovered a pair of orange cargo shorts. Subsequent laboratory tests established that Grant's DNA was on the shorts. Further, the test established that there was gunshot residue on the front of the shorts. In February 2015, the people filed an information charging Grant with murder, including gun and gang enhancements. The case was tried to a jury in May 2015, at which time the prosecution presented evidence establishing the facts summarized above. On May 28, 2015, the jury returned a verdict finding defendant guilty of first-degree murder and found true the gun and gang allegations. Defendant thereafter admitted he suffered a prior conviction for manslaughter, which qualified as a strike. The court sentenced Anthony Grant to a total term of 80 years to life in state prison. Matthew Sims was 42 years old at the time of death.